And taking the Broadway stage in this new production is a very talented actor who has performed in such shows as Wicked, Dear Evan Hansen, and K-pop. So please welcome to the show, Zachary Noah Piser. Great to have you here.
Good to see
you.
you.
Thank you for having me.
What's
Congrats.
happening?
I mean, I did not get to see the show, so you should probably tell them what you thought. You
Puddle
saw
of tears. I told him. I was left in a puddle of tears, and I don't cry.
You don't cry, never.
No, I have a cold heart, and it was brought to. You warmed it up. But talk, because you in particular, for those who don't know about the show, leave the audience kind of like in this puddle of tears. I don't want to give too much away. So give the premise of, I guess, the story.
Yeah, okay, so this show follows a woman named Jessie, played by Idina Menzel, who suffers a loss. At the very beginning of the show, we learn this, and to cope with that loss, she decides to drive as far as she can away from New York City, where she lives, and she ends up by happenstance in the Redwood forest in California. And only there, through this adventure that she takes, she rediscovers a connection with nature and with herself and with others.
Yeah, and you play her son.
I play her son,
Yeah.
and that's about all I can tell you.
Oh.
And everyone else will just have to come see the show and learn for themselves.
Can you tell a little bit about what your relationship is, or does that really give it away?
No, of course. So I am the son of Idina's character, Jessie, and Deidre Aziz's character, Mel. And we have this beautiful, really complicated, as all families are, but beautiful insular unit with the three of us. And I think it's very clear to each of these characters that family is of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
And the rest you'll have to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
We're showing like the pictures of the set, right? Because the set is incredible, and the stage itself is like on a slant. So
it's a rake stage so that everyone can kind of have a good view, whether you're in the orchestra or in the mezzanine.
So what does that do for you as like an actor? Because you're always just like leaning. Shin splints. But you see this incredible tree, right? And they're climbing it, and it's unbelievable. The set is unbelievable. And that's actually kind of like where you grew up, right?
It is, California. Yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area, and so my mom sent me a photo of me visiting the Redwoods for the very first time. I must have been like 15 on opening night. I was like, Mom, I've been a part of the show for like 2 years. Where have you been burying these photos? These would have been great to have. But it really was. You can see anyone who grew up in the Bay Area, you always field trip to the Redwoods because it's such an important part of the education of living on the West Coast.
Did you ever climb one?
Well, I have not climbed one in like an official capacity, but recently I was given the gift by our vertical choreographer Mele to climb Archery Stella at the theater.
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Fabulous.
Coming out on a little vlog I'm doing for Broadway.com.
Okay.
Check it out.
Well, that's impressive. Now, I heard that, from everyone that's seen it, the music is just beautiful, but the story and everything all combined, you were sold pretty quickly on being a part of this.
Yeah, so I heard a demo, which, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, it's essentially like a rough track of a song, usually done by either an actor that the creative team hires, or if the composer is a singer themselves, they would just do the demo, regardless of the gender or the actual character. And I heard the song that then became my character's kind of big song in the show 2 years ago, and I was in my bedroom, and like you said, all of a sudden I was like, oh, something's happening. What's going on?
Wow.
Because it's such visceral, emotional music. Kate Diaz, our composer and co-lyricist, really is such a special, special creator, and I'm so happy that she's now in the zeitgeist of Broadway.
Yeah, where do you go? Like, where do you go, I guess, like when you're singing that song? Because you hit these notes that are just like not human and they're unbelievable. And I'm curious if you can see the reaction that you're getting while you're doing it, or if you're in your own moment, right? Because the guy next to me dug into his pocket and pulled out like a wrapper that like a muffin would be in, and was using that as a tissue. Because he was like crying. I'm like, just use your hand, buddy.
Not the muffin.
The muffin wrapper. And I was like, wow, I had no tissues. But like, can you see that, like while it's happening, and where are you going emotionally to get them?
So the best thing about
I thought
that,
to get the muffin. I was
I know.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I want to ask if the muffin was good. The best thing about that. One of the best things about that scene is that I get to do it next to and with Idina Menzel, who is just one of the most generous, amazing, consummate performers ever. In the actual moment when I'm singing the song, I can't really see anything in the audience, but I have this, and it was a change from La Jolla to Broadway, that then I kind of make my way up, and then I actually watch the final scene that happens between my two moms in the show, which is kind of like doesn't tie everything up together, but gives a more realistic kind of depiction of where we think they will go after, you know, curtain comes down. And at that moment, I sometimes allow myself to kind of sneak peek into the audience to see, and that always is incredibly moving, just to see that people are really affected by this piece. And that's always a really
That's
special
your
feeling.
post-song.
Yeah, post-song.
So you're just seeing everybody blubbering like,
Yes. Well, it's better than that versus, you know, I've also done shows where people are like in the front row. So at least it's not that. And so we're very happy that they're being affected and that people are taking some beautiful things away from the show.
Yeah.
Do you ever get lost in the moment?
Absolutely. But I think that's one of the most beautiful things about live theater. I mean, you know, it's the difference from screen work is that you can really feel comfortable to get lost looking in someone's eyes and connecting with someone and seeing how that affects the piece that night, while still maintaining true to the integrity of the overall piece.
yeah.
But once the night's over, oh, you're going to say something.
No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, once it's over, though, how do you chill?
Well, I have
How
a
do you
dog.
get happy after
that's
that?
That's why dogs were invented. My dog Scout.
you have a dog.
Absolutely, Scout. Jess, she knows, and also she comes to the theater sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
So she's like our mascot. But
Yeah.
I go home to her, just lay on the ground, and she just licks me up.
Yep.
And I'm like, right, all
Yeah.
better.
I did see the dog in the dressing room on that thing you were doing.
Yes.
That was the vlog for...
That's the vlog for Broadway.com.
Okay, got it. Now, where do you get your muffins? No. That's the next segment.
Exactly.
I'll be sure to bring a muffin next
yeah.
time
Thank
when I
you.
see the show.